Welcome, everyone, to this NFL Draft Bible Spotlight Interview Edition. Working a part of this free agency database with Marvin Jones, have a young man, Ernesto Lacayo, with me, who is a free agent kicker, has spent some time in the Arena League, was in the XFL before it officially disbanded due to the coronavirus and everything. So, Ernesto, before I get deep into your career, which is a very interesting path from what I've seen, appreciate, again, man, rolling with some technical difficulties getting started here. Appreciate your time and everything you've been able to do. And I'm excited just to get into your past a little bit here.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So talk to me about the career, because I think I saw Hastings College originally from the Arena League. I think it was 9 years, if I have that correct. So just
Correct.
talk to me about the love for football, when it started to become, and just a little into your background coming out of Hastings and starting that professional career pretty early.
Well, I've always enjoyed, playing football, and just coming from Hastings College, in high school in Nebraska. It wasn't, until my senior year in college in 2010, which seems like a lifetime ago, is when I wanted to really pursue the professional career. And I was in the same draft class as Greg Zerline, Alex Henry, and just those guys. I trained with them a couple times, and being able to hang with them at the time, they gave me the motivation to pursue the professional career. But going on draft in 2011, I found out through other coaches that, hey, in order to get to this, level, you have to go through these kind of ranks. And, Arena Leagues were always presented, the AFL, the IFL at the time. And the Nebraska Danger was my first team that I played for, which is a local team in Nebraska at the time, which no longer exists as of last year. It was something of an experience, a learning experience of that, from the outdoor game to the indoor game. And I learned quickly in a couple games that this fine-tuning and fine adjustment from, adapting to those kind of leagues is what makes and breaks you. And over the years, being able to play longer than the average, because the average lifetime span for a kicker in arena is actually 3 games. And I was fortunate enough to play 9 years and bounce around with some teams. And over these years, I've had workouts with the San Francisco 49ers in 2014, 2 years ago with the Chicago Bears, workout with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, as well as the Arizona Hotshots of the AAF. So I've always been around. Everyone's been knowing me as the arena guy, as well as performing in these combines and workouts and doing so well. And it's just a matter of the right place, right time, and just being able to, never give up at, chasing the dream, at the same time adapting every year. As we get older, you have to find out things that do and do not work for you to be able to have that longevity, which has led me up to playing in the XFL and getting the opportunity and performing well.
Mm-hmm. And I know, just kind of reading about you, Ernesto, I know you've worked with John Carney, worked with Gary Zauner. Talk to me a little bit about the guys kind of behind the scenes from a training aspect that have been able to help you to continue and obviously stay in shape for those opportunities.
Well, yeah, coming out of college, actually, my first coach, I would have to say, was Joe Nedney, the former 49ers kicker. He took me under his arm for a good number of years, and he got me prepared, refine my technique and being able to adjust and be ready for the NFL level. Just because when you were in college, we all think that we're ready. And in fact, there's a learning curve that I feel like, the NFL should look at kickers a little bit later after their college careers, because they're not really truly set up for success. They get jumped right into the NFL, and it's timing, and at the same time, different type of environments you have to deal with. So Joe Nedney for the first 5 years was my coach. And after that, he recommended me, to go keep learning, keep an open mind about training. So he sent me to John Carney here in San Diego, which I've been here for about 3 to 4 years now, which I learned a lot more, and being able to be in the environment too with other kickers and other free agents and learning from him. And then going to Gary Zauner's free agent camp a number of years and performing extremely well in the finals of it. And then going one-on-one with him, learning a different, style, more of a natural style. And that's always helped me out to get ready to this part, because the thing is, as kickers, I think we become too one-dimensional, and we have to have an open mind. There's no one right way to kick, but there's a philosophy behind it, and being able to use all these different types of philosophies and honing into your own craft, that what really makes and breaks a kicker, and making that kicker last a long time.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because I think most people kind of associate kicking with a repetition, the same footwork, the same follow through, all that type of stuff. For you, has it been taking multiple different ideas and molding it into your own, or has it just been trying different types of styles?
I would say molding into my own because the arena leagues also taught me a little bit differently because when you're kicking the outdoors, your leg swings a little bit different. Your tempo to the ball is a little bit different. That's a word that gets thrown out there a lot is tempo and timing. And arena leagues will definitely humble you down and being able to adjust to the type of ball because that's a composite ball and that ball does not fly as well. And so you have to adjust. And then being able to be around these other coaches who have been around the game for quite a long time, they start giving you their pointers. And then your thought process is very much like golf, these swing thoughts, as we like to, call it. And so being able to do that, and as an individual, as you're growing and maturing, trying to bring that into your technique is what really helps out because a lot of guys, they think, okay, maybe this is the way we kick, or I like this guy. And then like I always tell like a lot of young kids as they're coming up in the ranks, you have to be open-minded. You have to be able to be like, okay, I like this. I don't like this. When you go back to the lab, that's when you start to really refine and hone in on your craft.
And from my knowledge, Ernesto, and I don't know the exact dimensions, but I know that the Arena League goalposts are a lot more condensed, a lot closer together. So does that change anything with the approach to a kick, or is it kind of always, you're aiming right for down the middle anyway, type of thing?
Well, it goes back to the aim small, miss small, because the size of the arena goalposts are the size of two doors, or about 3 yards wide. And so, it's unforgiving for the fact that there's some styles that, you kind of have a draw to the ball, whereas it taught me to, hit that one ball and make it go straight every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And then just playing within the rules, because in the, like, for example, the Arena Football League, well, it's kind of just like the outdoor game. If it's a fourth down and if the ball's in the left hash, you got to kick it from the left hash. Whereas in the IFL and all these other arena leagues, the kicker has a chance to pick, or has a choice to pick on any hash, right, where you got to give yourself a chance. So when I was on fourth down, I was like, let's put it in the middle. Even if it's like a 50-yard field goal to an extra point, you always pick in the middle because it's already tough enough as it is just trying to put it through a little goalpost. And then just being able to like really understand how to control your body. Arena will do that. And that's what definitely helped me out throughout these years. Being able to be very consistent is what I've been known for, hitting a straight ball. And that's what's really got me just being able to keep on moving, keep this career going down the line and improving all the time.
And I know obviously it was very unfortunate with the sudden shutdown of the XFL. I was really enjoying it personally. I know you were on the Seattle Dragons. You had some opportunities out there. Talk to me about that, because that's obviously a completely different situation that you were used to. Obviously kicking mostly indoor. So how did you just enjoy your time with Seattle, and how bummed you were that the unfortunately it ended a little sooner than we anticipated?
I mean, I couldn't be more grateful and thank the Lord above for that opportunity because, all these years I'm working to get back to playing outdoor. The benefit was that a lot of indoor guys, when they go to their teams, unfortunately, based on during whatever the weather is in the spring, they don't have the opportunity or the facilities to kick outside and make that, being able to adjust in and out. They stick to indoor, and suddenly when they come back outdoor, there's another learning curve. You got to readjust to the environment. Being able to move here in San Diego, it helped out. I kick outdoor every single day, and I made sure that I made kicking outdoor very easy as opposed to the indoor game, then adjusting. It's just that little curve here and there. But the Seattle Dragons thing was a blessing because unfortunately, a friend of mine, Garrett Harley, a Super Bowl kicker, he didn't get a chance to pass his physical and everything. But due to the respect that we kick with each other all the time, the Nick Novaks, Nick Folk, Garrett Harley, we kick with each other. And the respect that they have for me of competing with them all single time, they're always telling me, man, I don't know how you're not in the NFL or why you haven't gotten your shot. And, I always give them this, the answer, right place, right time. And this kind of situation, I had not spoken to Garrett Harley in quite some time. But the last time we kicked with each other, he was just like, man, you're all dialed in. So I was actually going to congratulate him the day he was already with Seattle because he was having a great time. He's coming back and doing what he loves to do. And unfortunately, he didn't pass his physical. But he called me and saying, hey, I want you to win this job. You're ready. You just need to go out there and just win the job. And so just being able to, have those kind of guys of respect behind. And then, the coaches calling John Carney and other coaches and, putting the word in for me. That's half the battle. the second thing is that when you have to go to the workout, I mean, yeah, the two other guys that I go against are good, like, kicking buddies of mine, but you got to perform. And not the best weather in Seattle. I mean, it's raining, it's cold, it's windy. It's hard to kick a leather ball the way you would like to in that kind of conditions. But, you have to mind over matter a lot of ways, and and every single day, just preparing mentally for every single day in the practices and being able to perform and doing what you love. And then, the film study, it was very much like the NFL. And maybe it was just like in Seattle, because I heard other situations like in LA, not so well ran and everything, but Seattle was, top class the whole time there. I mean, the experience and the fans and the coaches, everything was so professional, and I was having fun. Each day was just a blessing. It was exciting being able to work with the guys, everyone asking me about my arena career, because I felt never in my career did I ever feel old. But when I was in Seattle, a lot of guys were like, 9 years, you've been playing this long? I'm like, yeah, it's arena football. They're just like, wow, they're all calling me sir. And I'm like, sir? Oh, I never got that before. So even on my birthday, they left me I don't know if it was a used crutches or like a little walker for old guys in my locker. So that was funny. So, but it was fun. Unfortunately, I think we were getting our groove as a team together, getting ready after the Houston game that we could have won, and things were looking up, pretty much ready for the next game in New York. But unfortunately, with the COVID, it was, just spreading like wildfire, and unfortunately that happened.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really unfortunate for a lot of people. For you, Ernesto, like, how has it been trying to stay prepared? Because obviously with the quarantine and everything, how have you been able to continue training, staying in shape? Like, how difficult has it been kind of to navigate this tough off season now?
Well, once I got back into Seattle, I mean, the first month or two when, they shut down the gyms and they shut down the fields, that was a reality check, because when I got back, I was able to use the field once or twice, and then I got kicked off, and there was nobody on these soccer fields around here. But, the the whole country went on the shutdown, and that was difficult, because not being able to, swing the leg and just work at your craft at it, and being able to use the fields around was difficult. So you kind of had to revert back to the high school days where, not all high school fields are open. So you have to jump the fence and you get a couple of kicks in here and there before you get kicked off. So, and then the gyms, luckily, John Carney has his own gym. It was a private gym. So we're able to use that, obviously following the guidelines of the COVID and making sure that there are not too many people in there. And also, we're also disinfecting. And it's probably something we should have all done all these years and everything. And we're getting, a good learn. I mean, we're just learning from it. But that's been difficult. But, I also work at an AutoZone. So, I become very creative lifting batteries and working out like that. And, just being creative. So it brings you back to the old, when I was in high school, not knowing anything about weightlifting and all that stuff, and just having to make everything work for what you have. But now things have opened up. The gyms, unfortunately, have gone closed again here in California, but the fields are open, so we're able to use that. And we just have to be creative as an athlete, as professional, and the professional will make do with what they have.
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked to a lot of still college athletes that are just saying, they've gotten super creative, these miscellaneous, picking up weight benches and squat racks and doing whatever they had to do. So I feel like everyone's tried to adjust, man. It's been a crazy off season. I know, Ernesto, obviously the goal overall is to play in the NFL level. You've had, a couple workouts, like you said. You've been playing professional football for a while now. So when did that NFL dream start? And talk to me a little bit about what that moment will be like when you finally get that opportunity to be on an active roster and then contribute to a team.
Well, the NFL goal was always there, even since I was in high school. When I was in high school, I wanted to be the best at the kicking position in my school's history. And once I was able to achieve that, my high school head coach was like, you can get a scholarship, you can move on. And if you do really, really well, no matter what school you go to, and as long as you do well, they will come looking for you. And so that was like sparked at that young age. And then it wasn't until I got out of college being able to meet my hero. Because I remember I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I grew up watching them. And the few times that my cousins would come to the Bay Area and watch the game, they would love to tailgate. But I would grab my dad's binoculars And I would try to get into the stadium, even though there were bleeder seats, I would watch Joe Nedney. He was the kicker of the Niners when I was in high school. So just being able to, achieve that, meet my hero, because I've always been told you never want to meet your heroes. You might be disappointed. But in this case, it was the opposite. Joe Nedney had just retired, and he still wanted to kick, so he took me under his wing and he wanted me to excel. And then him spending all this time after kicking, because kicking could be like for an hour and a half, but he would spend hours just on the field with me, just giving me his philosophies, his experience, and then trying to teach me to how to handle certain situations and how to go about pursuing this dream. Because he was one of those guys that gave me all that motivation and wanted me to succeed. And we had lost touch for about a year. When I was in Seattle, he texted me out of nowhere. He's like, "Ernesto, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in Seattle." He's like, "I thought that was you. I saw you on TV, and it makes me really happy. I can't wait to see you in the NFL." And so just all these years and making sure and grinding it out and performing well, even in the arena leagues, always having to perform great, because I need people to understand that they can't overlook these arena guys. There's a lot of good arena players overall. You had your Kurt Warner from the Iowa Barnstormers back in the day. Mm-hmm. But in the kicking position, there's a lot of good kickers there that just need to be given an opportunity. And that being said, I was able to at least, if I'm considered the ambassador for these guys to move up and show that we can do it. I mean, that's just great in itself. And then to show in the NFL that it still can be done.
Right. And I mean, I'll be very honest. Every football team I've ever been on, you kind of mess with the kickers a little bit, because they're kind of off to the side, and they have their little workout. And it's so funny though. I've always just thought about, we put so much slack on them, but then limited time, right? Limited reps on a football field are some of the most crucial ones, right? You talk about field position, obviously a game-winning situation, like there's a lot of pressure there. So Ernesto, kind of ending this interview, talk to me about what you can provide to that professional team, to that NFL team, I should say, when they give Ernesto Lacayo the opportunity. What do you bring to them the minute that you enter their organization and their building?
I mean, the biggest thing I would tell people to bring me in, that they can trust me. Everyone knows that I work really hard at what I do. And I treat my position just like any other position. I work very hard, even making tackles throughout my whole career. I love to do. I like to get in there and everything, and just putting the grind and the work together. There's one thing that I've been known for is my consistency, and the respect and discipline that I have is something that's a great asset to any team, and that the trust is there. It's one thing that if I've had a lot of coaches and a lot of players that have played in the NFL who respect me and trust me with my ability, it's one of the biggest things I can provide.
Awesome. Well, again, Ernesto Lacayo, currently a free agent kicker, looking for his opportunity, a part of this NFL Draft Bible exclusive look for the free agency database. Ernesto, man, appreciate it again so much. It was a pleasure just digging into your background a little bit, man. I'm wishing you the best of luck. I really do appreciate all your time today.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it always.